but there's still a lot of work to be done. 3-time New York Pro champ. Getting ready for the 2025 Mr. Olympia. I ain't gonna sit here and say I'm gonna win, but you better believe I'll be in that top 3. Where in that top 3 I'll be? I guess we'll wait and see. Samson's a freak. He's very overpowering. He's very big, very round, very bubbly, very muscular. But I've also become a lot bigger and more muscular, and I also always outdo him in condition. So if he doesn't come in full condition, I will be Samson too.
That is absolutely true. Nick has always bring a better condition to Olympia than Samson. But he was not there last year, right? So if Samson bring the same condition that he brought to Arnold to Olympia this year, it's not going to work because Nick is known for being conditioned. So if Samson want to retain his title, if Samson can come to Olympia this year with 1% better than his last year presentation, he's going to retain his title. But anything less than that is going to lose it. Because right now, Hadi is quiet, just grinding and working, right? And we've seen what Derek look like. We don't. Derek is not really going to improve on that before Olympia because his body is beginning to burn out. We see the result in Pittsburgh. You know, it was just a slight edge. We know Nick won, but they still give it to him. So he really need his body to rest before, to fire back all cylinders for Olympia. So we don't know how that's going to turn out. But for conditioning, yes, that's true. He's always going to bring it. So let's see if Samson can bring a better condition to retain his title. Yeah, Derek is Mr. Olympia. So I don't think Derek is going to win. That is just my personal opinion. I don't think he's going to win. I think that title might still remain between Samson, Hadi, and I'm injecting Nick into that conversation because it was in Pittsburgh. We see what it is. And Nick has gotten better, bigger, always shredded. So I know his structure is not the most pleasant or pleasing physique to look at. But guess what? Open is not all about the beauty. It's all about the muscularity. It's all about the condition. It's all about, yes, the balance and all of that. But there's a lot that goes into it. So let's see how it unfolds, guys. Please, guys, don't forget to subscribe, share, comment, and turn on your notification button. Okay, let's look at this man. I've said this before. I said this my leg has done size so much. Like this, I'm surprised to see Regan leg done size like this. And looking at him in New York, it was just a different person. Completely. And he flat out different person. Yeah, his upper body, came up a lot. It's like he sacrificed his lower body for his upper body. His back came up, but his quad just disappeared. His quad is more like a classic physique dude legs. That is not a leg that can stand against the like of, Derek, Samson, Hadi, Andrew Jacked. And I think everybody's looking at him to be the guy that win California Pro because everybody, Nick, he might win. I mean, Regan might win, but it's not my pick to win California. For me, my pick to win California is SAS. SAS is my pick to win California. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys really think that, Regan have what it takes to win in California to pick up that qualification for 2025 Olympia? So far, because the way his leg downsized, I don't think he will be able to fill that out in a couple of 2-3 weeks. That is not fill out issues. That is lack of quad issues. Okay. let me ask this question. Don't you guys think it's high time Keon moved to the open? I think Keon is just cheating people at 212 right now. When I mean cheating, because it's not fair. Dude, it is not fair. Go to open and, because this guy stay in 212, he's going to be another Lewis that will win that title for the next 7 years and ain't nobody touching him. But for me, I think he already won it. Even Steve Weinberger was talking about, he should, if you want to, he should move to open, because he should. Financially makes more sense to move to the open, because if he plays top 5, top 4, he make more money than winning 212, right? So you already won it twice in a row, right? This man is looking crazy. 5 weeks out from Dubai Pro. He is the current champion. He won it last year where he got his qualification to Olympia, but he never came because, he ran an American, whatever issue. He wasn't able to get a visa, just like how he went through the same hurdle for a long time before he was able to get a visa. So he has qualified maybe 4 or 5 times on the roll that he wasn't able to come to the States, but he just compete around Europe and, Middle East. Because, he's a professional bodybuilder. That's what he does for a living. That's how he make his money, pay his bills, take care of his family. So I hope he get a visa this year. And that means if you win Dubai Pro to come to 2025 Mr. Olympia. But I think it's going to be tough. I'm not surprised. I think this guy is going to be doing that show. I think William is on the last run. I think after this year, William might retire, for professional bodybuilding, because another person that is doing that show is Nathan the Asher. Nathan is a threat because that dude wins almost every show he step into, and he's another guy that have been having a visa issue coming to the States. He got some legal issues that he had a couple of years ago that, restricted him from coming to the States. I guess he has been working on that. So he's also going to be doing Dubai Pro. So if he does qualify, that means he has to come to the States. I believe he already sorted out his visa issues as well, because I know that UKs don't have no problem coming to the States. This dude is still working like he's competing. This is a dude that I like very much, because he's so... I call him, gentle giant. He's so quiet, doing his minding his business and doing his stuff, and he don't get in nobody's face. He just mind his business. I really the way he train, he still train like he's about to compete. When you once a champion, you're always a champion. That mentality is already there. You can't get it out of him. I'm really happy for him. With his business, his family, and everything going well. And yeah.
Hi everyone, Tyler Mannion here, NPC and IPB Pro League Vice President, and this will be your men's open recap for the New York Pro, brought to you by Superpower. So obviously we had a repeat of a bunch of guys that participated in the Pittsburgh last week. So in first we had Nick, and in second we had William. I thought Nick brought a very comparable package to Pittsburgh. I thought he was actually just a touch sharper in the upper body during Pittsburgh than he was here, but very, very comparable showings. I thought William also brought a very comparable physique to Pittsburgh, basically almost exactly the same, so I thought he peaked again really, really well. Between the two guys, I would say really the only pose that you could slightly give to William is the front lat spread. That's just Nick's weakest pose. He still needs to really improve on this pose. But other than that, I would say Nick took every other pose due to his muscularity and conditioning and overall size. So moving forward for Nick, as I stated before, he really needs to improve that front lat spread. The side chest, I thought he hit just a little bit better, keeping those shoulders more square and showing a little bit more width across the top from shoulder to shoulder. I still think he can work on doing that just a little bit better. The back lat spread, I think he can work on getting his lats out. So I felt like he still had just a little bit more to give in those lats. And really, you could see that his back and the back double, he has more of that depth and that 3D look to it. The back lat spread's a little bit flatter, so he still needs to work on that thickness and depth back there to really improve that back lat spread pose. The side tricep, again, he can work on hitting it at a better angle where his upper body is a little bit more twisted to the front, and also the flexibility of his arms. So we're really getting the full impact of how big and detailed detailed that his shoulder and his outer arm and tricep is, because he has to turn it so much, he's sacrificing some of that size and really what his outer arm should look like in this pose. Other than that, the waist control and stomach control, I felt like during pre-judging was lacking a little bit. I think he did a lot better job of that during finals. It's just something that, on the Olympia stage, he can't really relax a second, so he's going to have to practice and get used to that. Also, obviously, he can use just a little bit more thickness to his chest as well, but I feel like, once again, Nick has really, really leveled up with his physique, and he is going to be a force for everybody at the Olympia this year. For William, I feel like he just needs to continue doing what he's doing. For his age, it's, again, absolutely incredible that he's just running off showings like this and continuing to get better. Keep bringing his waistline in, keep working on bringing a little bit more width to his lats. His legs have definitely come up. Really, if he can just continue to do what he's doing and he's keeping this fullness and 3D look that he has to his physique, he's just going to become more and more dangerous for these guys. So props to him. Actually, a lot of props to him, because this is already, I think, the 4th show that he's competed at this year, and he's looked really, really good at every single show. In 3rd place, we had Michael, and in 4th place, we had Reagan. I felt like these two were pretty close at prejudging. Reagan's conditioning when he came out was very, very good, but he really almost immediately in the first round of posing, he really started to sweat. He started to fade, and all of those deep lines that he was bringing really just started to go away. And obviously between Reagan and Michael, there is a pretty significant size difference between the two. So even though Michael has trouble, with both of his back poses, the back double bicep and the back lat spread, I think Reagan takes those poses. But really from the front, other than the abdominal and thigh, which again, I can give to Reagan, he has just enough muscle where, how aesthetic and proportionate and small his waist is, looks really, really good in that pose. Other than that, I think Michael took the other 5 poses off of sheer muscularity, but also Michael's conditioning, again, was very, very good at this show. I felt like at the Pittsburgh and also here, he has really struck a nice balance and found how to be very, very conditioned, but still very full. For Michael, he just needs to continue to work on, obviously, number 1, posing. That's one of his weakest points of anything, but also he needs to really work on bringing the waistline in still a little bit more. He can obviously improve his back. That's going to help his back poses too, is just to continue to improve his back, although I do feel like he did add some more thickness to it since I last judged him. And then his legs from the front have definitely come up. His legs overall have definitely come up, but he can still use a little bit more size to the legs, specifically still more hamstrings and glutes. So continuing to bring that up, bring the posterior chain up, is only going to do him well on really every pose, the side poses and the back poses, but also from the front. I feel like that's just going to give him a little bit more volume as well as he continues to improve the overall legs. So for Reagan, Reagan size-wise is his biggest thing he needs to improve on. I'm not sure if he actually really gained any more size from the last time we've seen him. It could be because I felt like his conditioning, again in the morning, but also at night, his conditioning was very good. Even though, he would start to sweat and obviously that would make his physique fade. The conditioning that he brought was very good. The lines were very deep. Obviously, Reagan has a world-class back. His back looks great in the back double bicep and the back lat spread, but he still needs definitely a good bit more overall size to his legs, and that's from all angles, the front, the side, and the back. Obviously, his arms can still come up as well, and that's from, his inner arms and also his outer arms and shoulders. I also think that Reagan can bring up the amount of chest thickness that he has as well. So really for Reagan, the biggest thing is overall size, and I feel like he might have burned off a little bit of that new tissue that he might have added, and that's because the conditioning that he brought was actually very solid. So overall, I thought that all these guys looked very good, and again, this was a really, really solid top 4. I mean, all 4 of these guys have been in the top 10 of an Olympia contest in their career, so great contest for the New York Pro this year. Hi everyone, Tyler Mannion here, NBC and IPB Pro League Vice President, and this will be your New York Pro recap for the 212 division. So in first place, we had Francisco. I thought Francisco brought a very, very polished package to this show. His conditioning was spot on. Everything was popped. Everything was full. Overall, just a really, really great look, and he really stood out from every single other 212 competitor on the stage. In second was Angel. For me, this was not one of Angel's better packages. I felt like his conditioning was lacking a little bit. Specifically, his back itself was softer than the rest of his body, which still wasn't where it needed to be. His back was just a little bit too soft. It wasn't really showing any separation or detail. So that really hurt him in both the back double bicep and back lat spread poses. But overall, even the rest of his body overall just wasn't in good enough condition at this show to really compare with or even overtake Francisco. So for Francisco, the two main things he needs to work on is still adding just a little bit more width. He needs a little bit more width in his lats. And then he can also use a little bit more overall size to his legs. He's definitely very balanced still right now, but his upper body is still just a little bit thicker than his overall legs. So the legs from the front, from the side, and from the back can still just be a little bit thicker overall to get that balance just a little bit better. And then obviously adding that width is only going to enhance a lot of his poses, both front poses, both back poses, and then actually even the abdominals and thigh as well. So if he can do this, he's going to continue to climb the ranks. I felt like he's done a very, very good job of this. I also thought he posed better as well. His back double bicep, normally he pinches. He has a hard time opening that back double bicep all the way up, but while we were comparing them, he made sure that he got it open all the way every single time. So he showed off an improvement in width, in my opinion, from what he has in the past. And overall, this conditioning is just what he needs to bring to the Olympia while continuing to make these small improvements. Now, for Angel needs to work on still bringing his arms up. He also can work on his waist control. I thought his waist control was a little bit lacking at this show. And then obviously talking about his back, I just feel like he needs more thickness back there and more detail, because even though the rest of his body was in decent condition, the back was soft. That normally means that you need more back there because the back shouldn't be lacking behind the other body parts. So continuing to improve the back, continuing to improve the arms, stomach control, and also bringing that waistline in. In third, we had Cody. I thought this was a very, very good showing for Cody. He was another one that at prejudging, he came out in the groups, he came out as individual. You're like, man, he's on. The conditioning was very good. But once he came out for comparisons, he was another one that just started sweating right away. And it was so much, again, that the line started to get blurred and his physique faded. Obviously, Cody is just a little bit smaller than both Francisco and Angel. So he needs to work on adding a little bit more overall size. The main focuses that he can add on is adding a little bit more thickness to the chest. He needs a little bit more size to his side leg. And then that back double bicep, he has good width and good shape, but he needs more thickness, specifically in that inner back, to really bring out the depth and the detail in the lines back there. So improving on all those, but again, his conditioning was very good. At night, I thought he came back in even better condition. And when we were going through the confirmation round, he did not sweat at all. His polish and everything was very, very good. That's just how he needs to be during the whole entire show instead of just one round. And finally, in fourth, we had Luis. I think Luis brought a very, very good package. He definitely has improved as well. For him, his main overall focus needs to be improving his overall back. This means the thickness, the width, the details, the depth to his back. That really needs to improve. Obviously, on the two back poses, but again, how your back looks also matters from the front. He needs this improved for the front poses as well. Then Luis also needs to work on really improving his overall hamstrings as well. He needs more size to the hamstrings from the back. He needs more leg width from the back, and he also needs more hamstring drop from the side. Again, Luis was also in very, very good condition as well. So overall, I thought he was just a step behind Cody. But again, I think he's going to be dangerous to win a pro show this year. I think all four of these guys are very, very good 212 competitors, and it'll be interesting to see how they all end up this year.